I'm going to go to the next question for you.
Amen.
And this is, my son and I talk a lot about our world because it's a little bit messed up. Whenever I mention anything is wrong or so-and-so is doing something that's not biblical, he tells me, you judgmental mother, you.
But he's getting it from the media and from the world.
Come on.
You know, like, so this is a totally different generation. We, depending on how old you are, remember I told you I don't tell my age, but you know, a lot of us grew up when, at least across the board, the moral standards were the same.
Yeah.
Right.
It really didn't even matter if you went to church or not. You were
Yeah.
taught to respect your elders, you were taught, you know, so on and so forth. However, you know, when they're growing up in this environment, and I pray, really, I do. I say, God, I need wisdom. I need soul-winning wisdom. That includes the soul of my children, you know, because what we would have opposed years ago, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't steal.
Right.
It's not the same atmosphere that it gets received in now, because they are being taught and trained that this is okay. And so when you say something, it's not just the counsel of mom. It's not that I'm looking out for the betterment of you. I come across as judgmental. Because why is this? When other people are doing it, why? I was just watching a little thing on TikTok, and the woman was at a library for storytelling time, had her 4-year-old granddaughter, and her granddaughter turns to her and says, is Big Bird a boy? And grandma says, yes. She says, and I'm a girl, right? And she says, yes, you are a girl. And the person who was doing the storytelling comes running over and says, we don't discuss gender here. Now, the child was talking to the grandmother.
Right.
So when you have people that are growing up and being desensitized to things, we really need wisdom on how we are going to approach things. But I cannot veer from the truth. So here's my response to that. If the truth will kill a man, let him die.
Wowie.
Wow.
Wowie. That's
good.
big. Ooh, what do you say? No, I'm not killing. Nobody's killing.
I think that it's important for your son and your family to understand two things. One is that what you're discussing in your home is not necessarily things that you would share with other people.
That's very true.
Okay.
Very true.
That
Right.
the
Yeah,
home is
very
a sacred place, and the relationships there are a sacred place. So it's a different position. The other thing is, are you modeling how to communicate with people? Because he's he's saying that
you're
you're judging, and
Right.
what should I do? I think you need to model it. There's a way to confront people, and this should start in the home.
Yes.
With
Yes.
your children, with your spouse, whatever. There's a way to confront, and there's a way not to confront. Like you've said before, you can confront without being confrontational.
Right.
And so I think that we need to be making sure that we're not, are they seeing us lash out at them and
That's good.
constantly
That is good.
beat them with scriptures?
That is good.
Or
Yeah.
are we, softly just saying, oh, I found this in my devotional today, or I just wanted to share this with you, or this is something I struggled with. Are we being real with them? And this is
Right.
how I dealt with it. The decision is on them. We are not going to control their actions. The decision is on them. And so I think it starts in the
try
home.
What do you have on judgmental?
Well,
Being judgmental.
I'm thinking of
That's
John.
kind of where I am on it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of John 3, that Jesus came not to condemn the world, but to
Right.
save the world.
That's
Right.
good.
So
That's
are
good.
we being condemning? Are we trying to lift ourselves up, self-righteous, hypocritical?
Yeah.
Because we're pointing out somebody else's sin or what we perceive as sin, and not focusing on what God's calling is in their life. Remember the tax collector, evil, hated by everybody. Jesus said,
Yes.
I'm going to have dinner at your house tonight.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so good.
And what happened? He gave back everything he stole
Yes,
a couple
that is good.
times.
Right,
And
right.
can we look beyond the sin and see the sinner the way Christ does? Now, I'm not saying we condone it in our family, with our children. We let them know what principles we follow, that you follow. And then, as my sister said, the decision is theirs.
Right.
That's
But
good.
we
Right.
don't
That's good.
condemn because we're sinning, we're doing something wrong still.
Right.
We're not totally sanctified. So, but if it's going to hurt somebody else when someone sins, I think we have to stop the crime.
That's right.
You know, that's
Yeah.
the issue here. And also, if somebody is sinning against you, Matthew 18 says you go to that person and you do confront them. If they don't understand, you take a witness. If they still are sinning, this is in the church, then you tell it to the church. Don't allow somebody to sin against you,
Whoa.
to harm you.
So good.
That's
This is
good. That was
so
good.
good. I hope you
Yeah.
got it.